Imagine this. The US economy just hit a whopping $27 trillion in GDP, unemployment is at historic lows, and inflation seems to be cooling off. So why are so many Americans still struggling to pay for basics like groceries, housing, and gas? Now add in a big tariff plan from President-elect Donald Trump that could send prices soaring even higher. Are we on the road to recovery? Or is this just the calm before the storm? Let's uncover the truth about the US economy and what's coming next. At first glance, the US economy looks like it's finally stabilizing after years of chaos. Unemployment is at 4%, real GDP growth is at 2.5%, and inflation has dropped to 3.3% after peaking at 9% in 2022. But these numbers only tell part of the story. Underneath, there's a tangled mess of rising costs, stagnant wages, and shifts in the global economy. Enter President-elect Donald Trump's bold tariff proposals, a move that could change America's trade relationships and domestic industries, but might also lead to higher prices, job losses, and pushback from other countries. What does this mean for your wallet and the nation's economic future? Let's dig in. Let's take a look at the economy from the average American's viewpoint. While GDP per person hit a record high of $81,624 in 2023, wages haven't kept up. When adjusted for inflation, real wages have only increased by 2% since 2019, leaving many people struggling to keep up with soaring costs. Housing prices have jumped 21% since 2021. Grocery prices are up 25% from pre-pandemic levels. Gas prices, although lower than their peak of nearly $5 a gallon in 2022, are still higher than in 2019, averaging $3.52. These rising costs are putting pressure on households even as jobs are coming back. In 2023, the economy added 3 million jobs, bringing total employment to 159 million, a net gain of 6 million since before the pandemic. But for many, this recovery feels empty. The median wage has increased by $8,250 since 2019, but after inflation, that bump shrinks to just $613. And then there's Trump's tariff plan. Tariffs, taxes on imported goods, are set to become a key part of his economic strategy, but history shows us they can cause a lot of disruption. To understand what's at stake, let's look at past tariff policies. In 2018, Trump slapped tariffs on washing machines. Prices went up across the board, not just for washers but also for dryers. The US government raked in $82 million a year, but consumers ended up paying $1.5 billion more. Each job created cost a jaw-dropping $815,000. Now let's fast forward to Trump's new proposal. A 60% tariff on all Chinese imports. A 10 to 20% tariff on imports from every other country. What could happen next? Higher prices for almost everything, costing the average household an extra $1,700 a year. Job losses, estimated at 684,000, in industries that depend on global supply chains. Retaliatory tariffs from trading partners, which could shrink both US exports and imports. The ripple effects could be huge. Domestic manufacturers might see a temporary boost, but consumers would feel the pinch of rising costs, while global trade relationships could face new strains. Now, here's where things get even more concerning. Both Japan and China, historically the biggest foreign holders of US Treasury securities, are selling off their holdings. In just 3 months, Japan dumped $61 billion, and China sold $51.3 billion. This trend could drive up US borrowing costs, push bond yields higher, and weaken the dollar's standing in the world. Why does this matter? Trump's ambitious fiscal policies like tax cuts and infrastructure spending will need a lot of government borrowing. But with foreign investment in US debt dropping, the cost of borrowing could skyrocket, putting even more strain on the economy. Now it's your turn. Are tariffs the key to economic recovery, or are we risking more harm than good? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to dive deeper into how global trade impacts your daily life, check out our next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because staying informed is your greatest asset. See you next time.